All the Lantern Corps explained.
The history of the Green Lantern Corps. They're space cops, warriors, and protectors of the universe. But where did the Green Lantern Corps come from? It all started with the Guardians of the Universe, ancient blue-skinned beings from the planet OA. Billions of years ago, after a failed experiment with the Manhunters, the Guardians created a new peacekeeping force. The Green Lantern Corps, powered by willpower. Each Green Lantern wears a power ring, able to create anything they imagine, as long as their will is strong enough. The universe was divided into 3,600 sectors, with a Green Lantern assigned to protect each one. From Abin Sur to Hal Jordan, John Stewart, and Jessica Cruz, the Corps has survived wars, betrayals, and even destruction. Through it all, one thing remains. In brightest day, in blackest night, the Green Lanterns fight to protect the light.
Who are the Yellow Lanterns? You've heard of the Green Lanterns and their willpower. But what happens when your greatest weapon is fear? Enter the Yellow Lantern Corps, also known as the Sinestro Corps. Founded by former Green Lantern Thale Sinestro, this corps uses the yellow light of fear to dominate, control, and conquer. Unlike Green Lanterns, who must overcome fear, Yellow Lanterns embrace it. They use it like a weapon, projecting terrifying constructs that paralyze enemies with dread. And behind it all lurks their guardian avatar, Parallax, the living embodiment of fear in the emotional spectrum. Parallax is more than just a monster. It's a cosmic parasite that infects minds, turning even heroes into villains. At one point, it even possessed Hal Jordan, causing one of the darkest chapters in Green Lantern history. The Sinestro Corps doesn't protect the universe. They rule it through terror. But what happens when all you feel is rage? Meet the Red Lantern Corps, fueled by pure, uncontrollable anger. Born from the red light of rage, Red Lanterns don't just wear rings. They're consumed by them. Their blood is replaced by liquid fire. They breathe napalm, and their rage becomes a deadly plasma weapon. Most can't even think straight. Only a few, like Atrocitus, can control their minds enough to lead. But behind all that fury stands their guardian avatar, the Butcher, the living embodiment of rage. The Butcher is a massive, horned, bull-like entity made of raw emotion. He was born from the first act of murder in the universe, and he exists to feed on vengeance. He doesn't just amplify rage. He possesses people, turning grief into slaughter. The Red Lanterns aren't just angry. They're a force of vengeance that burns across the stars. You've seen lanterns powered by rage. But the most inspiring corps of all? The Blue Lanterns, fueled by hope. Created by former Guardians Ganthet and Sid, the Blue Lantern Corps was formed to bring light to the darkest corners of the universe. Their rings don't just create constructs. They can heal wounds, neutralize Red Lantern rage, and even amplify the power of Green Lanterns nearby. But alone, their power is limited. Hope shines brightest beside willpower. At the heart of it all is their emotional entity, Adara, the living embodiment of hope. Adara appears as a glowing blue bird, a symbol of freedom, serenity, and belief. She was born from the first moment a sentient being believed things would get better. Adara can possess hosts, inspiring hope strong enough to stand against fear, death, even despair. The Blue Lanterns don't conquer. They uplift.
What happens when your power comes from love, not will? Meet the Sapphire Lanterns, also known as the Star Sapphires. They draw energy from the violet light of the emotional spectrum, powered by pure, unshakable love. Created by the alien race called the Xamarin, the Star Sapphires originally recruited only women. But over time, they realized that love transcends gender, and others were allowed to join. Their violet rings can create powerful constructs, trap enemies in crystal prisons, and even convert others into Star Sapphires through emotional resonance. But here's the twist. Love can easily turn into obsession, making them one of the most dangerous Lantern Corps in the universe. The most iconic member, Carol Ferris, Hal Jordan's love interest and longtime wielder of the Star Sapphire ring. Sometimes ally, sometimes enemy. The Star Sapphires fight for love, but love isn't always gentle.
But what about the Orange Lantern? There's only one, and his name is Larfleeze. The Orange Lantern Corps runs on greed. And Larfleeze is so greedy, he refuses to share the power with anyone else. Instead of recruiting members, he creates light constructs of everyone he's ever killed. An army of stolen souls, all under his control. The Orange Ring gives insane power, but it also consumes the user with endless hunger. Even when Larfleeze gets what he wants, he still wants more. He's selfish. He's dangerous. And he's one of the more unpredictable beings in the DC universe. Who are the Indigo Lanterns? Meet the Indigo Tribe, wielders of the violet light of compassion. They don't speak English, they wear tribal gear. And their rings don't ask, they force you to feel empathy. The tribe was created by Abin Sur, a legendary Green Lantern, to reform the universe's worst criminals, by making them feel every ounce of pain they've caused. At the heart of their power is Proselyte, the emotional entity of compassion, a glowing, jellyfish-like being that can heal, possess, and even mimic other lantern powers. The Indigo Tribe doesn't seek justice. They seek redemption, no matter the cost. Who are the Black Lanterns? You've heard of lanterns fueled by will, love, and rage. But what if your power came from death itself? Meet the Black Lantern Corps, the undead army powered by the absence of emotion and life. They rise during the blackest night, wearing rings that resurrect the dead. Not as heroes, but as hollow, twisted echoes. Black rings seek out emotion, so they can rip it out of the living. And behind them is Necron, the embodiment of death and the Black Lantern's emotional entity. He's not just a villain, he's death made flesh. And he believes life itself is a cosmic mistake. Necron commands the Black Lanterns to snuff out all emotion and bring the universe back to silence. You can't reason with him. You can't kill him. You can only hope he doesn't rise again. Who are the Ultraviolet Lanterns? You've heard of green, red, and even black lanterns. But what about the Ultraviolet Lantern Corps? These lanterns don't draw power from an emotion. They draw from the invisible light of hidden emotions, like self-hatred, shame, and repressed darkness. Powered by the invisible emotional spectrum, ultraviolet rings don't need to be chosen. They force themselves onto you, binding directly to your bloodstream. And behind it all, a cosmic being called Umbrex, a living sentient force of emotional darkness. Umbrex is the guardian avatar of the Ultraviolet Corps, an entity that moves entire star systems to spread control. It doesn't inspire loyalty. It erodes free will, bending people to its influence until they become extensions of his shadow. Even heroes like John Stewart were corrupted and forced to wear the ring. The Ultraviolet Corps isn't about emotion. It's about everything you've tried to bury.
Who are the Gold Lanterns? You've heard of Green Lanterns, Red Lanterns, even Black Lanterns. But did you know there's a Gold Lantern Corps? They debuted in Legion of Superheroes Millennium. Gold Lanterns don't draw power from fear, rage, or willpower. They're fueled by something much rarer, pure happiness and positivity. To earn a Gold Lantern ring, you either need to experience immense joy or have lived a life completely free of misery. It's one of the hardest rings to qualify for, but their power comes with complications. Gold Lantern energy weakens Blue Lanterns, makes Orange Lanterns more greedy, and they're vulnerable to Red and Yellow Lanterns. They're rare, radiant, and still a mystery. But here's the twist. The Gold Lantern ring extends the wearer's lifespan and forces the user to feel nothing but happiness forever. Over time, most members go completely mad. They might just be the most emotionally unstable core in the universe.
Meet the Gray Sorrow Lantern. You know the Green Lanterns, Red Lanterns, even Gold and Violet. But did you know there's now a Gray Lantern? They're not powered by will, rage, or love. They're powered by sorrow. Meet Nathan Broom in Green Lantern Volume 7, Number 13, Carol Ferris' ex-fiancée. After Carol leaves him at the altar for Hal Jordan, his engagement ring infuses with all his sadness, transforming him into the Sorrow Lantern. His new gray ring channels sorrow into tangible power. He emits gray mist constructs and can force deep grief onto others, crushing their will. He's the first fractal lantern of sorrow, reshaping the emotional spectrum with sadness as a force. This isn't a phantom lantern, it's a new, emotion-driven core based on pure grief. The Gray Lantern doesn't inspire or terrify. He makes you feel your own deepest pain.
Who are the White Lanterns? Meet the White Lantern Corps, the ultimate force in the emotional spectrum, powered by life itself. White Lanterns don't channel a single emotion. They draw from all of them: will, fear, love, hope, rage, compassion, and more. Their power comes from the white light of creation, the very force that gave birth to the universe. At the heart of this core is their emotional deity, the entity, the primordial being of life. It was born with the first spark of existence, and its power can resurrect the dead, heal entire worlds, and purify corrupted lanterns. In blackest night, when death consumed everything, Heroes like Hal Jordan and Sinestro briefly became White Lanterns. To defeat Necron, the embodiment of death, the White Lanterns don't just fight evil. They bring life where there is none.
We all know lantern rings choose their users. But what if someone built a ring that anyone could wear? That's the Phantom Ring, and it wasn't made by the current Guardians. It was created by Rami, a rogue guardian of the universe, who believed the emotional spectrum shouldn't be locked behind rules and worthiness. The Phantom Ring channels every lantern core: willpower, fear, rage, love, hope, compassion, even death and life. But there's a catch. It reacts instantly to the wearer's emotional state, meaning the power constantly shifts and can spiral out of control. The ring was meant to be a tool for unity, but in the wrong hands, like Frank Leminski's, it became a chaotic weapon. That's why the Guardians hid it, because some powers aren't meant to be shared.
Don't forget to like and share. Thanks for watching.